Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I am Dustin and we are looking at Palantir once again. Now, if you've been watching any of my previous videos about Palantir, I will say that I'm a little concerned, and the reason why, because I've really changed my tune, is that the price action we've seen since the 1st of August, where it hit $19.99, we've essentially seen it fall, 25% since then. It's now down to $15.25. Now we look, the price is currently below its 5-day moving average. The 5-day moving average is still above the 23-day moving average, but only by 1 penny. So I don't expect that to hold for tomorrow. And the thing that's really concerning to me is that we've seen a big resumption in volume. We've actually seen the volume come down, but we're still above 100 million shares traded today. Now, when I look at what we see here, we do see that volatility has been rising, is what it's been saying. When I start to look, actually, I'm starting to see that volatility starting to fall. Now, when we see that volatility is falling, it takes a little bit for this to catch up because this is weighted over the average of 3 days, and it compares it to the volatility of the previous 3 days against the previous 3 days before that. But the thing that's really concerning is that we're seeing that now on our future price path, we see a price to fall. We're going to go ahead and look specifically at the price correlation and the volatility to give you a better idea of exactly what that might mean. But we'll have to look at that when we look at the bigger graphs. Now, the first thing that I'm going to point out when it comes to the performance is we are now negative on a 1-day, 5-day, 15-day, and 1 month. Now, if you're watching to my previous videos, the 1 month rolling return is actually a very important signal to me. The reason why is because algos look for the 1 month rolling return. We're still positive on the 3 month and the 6 month, but those are very large numbers, and we would have to have a dramatic fall down for that to even be a problem, probably back down to around $10 or even lower. I don't expect that to happen. Now, when we look at the signals, we do not have a go long or go short in the short term. We do have a go long in the intermediate term, which is good to see, and we do not have a go long or go short on the longer term, but we did just lose that go long on the longer term. Now we look at this overall trend indicator. What we can see is tomorrow we're going to flip to bearish on the short term, bearish on the intermediate term, and bullish still on the long term. That's very positive, but we'll want to see what this looks like by the end of the week. We're going to go ahead and look at the rolling sentiment here. One of the things that I love to see in the sentiment is when you actually are coming off of a falling bear and we're getting this 10-day to start to rise. Now, the thing that we've seen since it looks like the 8th of August here, we're at 51% on the 8th of August. Yesterday, we were at 47% as of today. Tomorrow, we're going to be at 40% in terms of the bullishness for Palantir. That's quite concerning. Now, we're going to go ahead and look here at the trading signals. Looking at the trading signals for Palantir, I know this doesn't mean anything to you, but it means something to me. We are going to have 3 key 3 bear signals tomorrow. We're only going to have 1 key 3 bull signal, and we've got these coming falling bears. Quite a concern if you are a bull in Palantir at the moment. Now, I've been quite a bull myself, but I definitely know and I don't want to get too picky. And right now might be the time where either you take a new position or you just wait and hold until you see those higher highs. I still believe that Palantir can hit $50, but I am not quite sure what's going to happen in the short term here because this type of a move is quite ugly. I mean, it did open at 1676 and closed at 1525. Yuck, what a candle that is. It looks like really what we've seen in the previous couple of days, we saw a lot of demand kind of eating those wicks back up and closing at the highs of the wicks. Today, we saw the demand completely reverse. We saw the supply come into the market and the candle got big and expansive. Not a good look. We'll look here at the Palantir daily sentiment indicator. What we can see is that we're coming back down on the daily sentiment closer to 50%, which is actually quite nice because we were up at a high of 66 on the 1st of August, coming off of those highs that we saw back in June. We were up around 69% bullishness. That's quite bullish. I wouldn't call it oversold. I just call it overly bullish. We can see now, though, that what we're getting is a resumption of the volume. Now, you don't like to see volume coming back when you see price falling down. That's just because that shows that there's a lot of supply coming in the market. But these volume bars are still lower than they were back in May and back in June. We got those big, gigantic breakouts in Palantir. Now, looking at the volatility, this is exactly what we wanted to see. Volatility is starting to roll off a cliff. And it's interesting because the way the volatility worked was that it looks like June, it started to roll. You see that the volatility started to roll, and you got the correlation which started to roll down negative as well. Now, that was a positive sign because when you have the volatility falling and the correlation is falling at the same time, you're going to get very tight price patterns. You're going to get essentially this kind of move. You're going to get tight price consolidation and higher highs, essentially until you get either a confirmation of the bullish move or you get a rollover. What we're getting now is essentially we have positive price correlation while we have a drop in volatility, which gives you a very, very volatile drop, essentially, because volatility is still high. Even though it's falling, it's still very high. And now the correlation is going negative. It's letting you know that we are in for a little treat, boys and girls, where we will expect the price to fall dramatically. Now, the nice thing is if you look at the trade range here, at least on the daily, what we can see is we're getting close to the very bottom at 1458. But if you look at the weekly, I don't think the bottom is 1458. I think it's around $2, and the top is at 21. So this could be quite a while where we see quite a drop here in Palantir. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? And before you go, subscribe to the New High newsletter. We give you 25 stocks to your inbox every single Sunday for free. I'll talk to you soon.